What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. Eddie here, back with you from my happy place, my metal room here in the woods in PA. And we're doing all kinds of shit here on the Realms of Metal. We're summoning demons. We're playing with action figures. Skeletor's back there. Hordak is back there. We're having some fun here. Last week, we did a video on 15 perfect or damn near perfect thrash metal records to start your collection. And of course, we throw a bonus in there, which we never do. But we got 15 more thrash metal records for you and a bonus. These are perfect or damn near perfect. I you have to go with the heavy hitters for these. This is the second one of these, but I try to include some more obscure stuff from maybe some lesser known bands in there that are still amazing records. So, like I said, we can do more, and when we probably will, because there's so many essential thrash metal records that you got to have. But that said, let's get at it. So let's start with 1992's Heathens, Victims of Deception. This was their second full length on Road Racer. Heathen from San Francisco, California. A funny thing about this record, when I was a kid and I first got my license, I was driving my mom somewhere and I had the cassette in. And that intro to Hypnotize comes on. I don't want you to worship me. I want you to be like I am. I want you to become what I am. And if you don't want to go this route, then go to hell where you want to, but don't bother me. Right. So my mom's like, is this satanic? I'm like, no, Ma, it's not satanic. She's like, well, what are they singing about? I'm like, well, they're singing about Jesus. She's like, Jesus. Just one of those memories I have of my mom, and like of all the bands to complain about being satanic, Heathen is definitely not one of them, just hilarious. Mom, I miss you. I think about you every day. That said, Heathen's Victims of Deception, definitely an essential record to have. I mean, I love this record. We've talked about it here, Ant and I, on the Realms of Metal numerous times. Picture of the band here. Look how young Lee Altus is there, and Dave. This is great stuff. Hypnotized, Opiate of the Masses, Heathen Song, Kill the King, the Rainbow cover, one of my favorite covers ever. Fear of the Unknown, amazing. Prisoners of Fate, amazing. Morbid Curiosity, Guitarmony, Mercy is No Virtue. Fucking gotta have this record. Completely essential. Always my favorite Heathen record. And, they're still doing it, man. Hats off to those guys. Heathen, Victims of Deception. Make sure I don't crush the cat. You knew this had to be on here. We did Peace Cells on the last one. So Rust in Peace has got to be on here. Megadeth's Rust in Peace, 1990 on Capitol, their fourth full length. Pretty much a perfect thrash metal record. I put Peace Cells on the first one only because I like that a little bit more. It's a little bit, rawer. This one's a little bit more polished, in my opinion. But, like every song on here is good. I mean, to me, this was the record that put Megadeth on the map, with that lineup of Marty Friedman and Nick Menza. I just think that Megadeth are at the top of their game when this came out. I saw them on the Clash of the Titans tour way back when in 1991. And I think I talked about it in another video. Man, I was a little kid. I was, 16 years old, seeing one of my favorite bands, like for the first time ever. I was pretty close to the front of the stage. And as they were coming out, like I just got chills, and it's just one of those feelings that you never forget. And I always love Megadeth to this day, and that'll never change. So Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, Hangar 18, Take No Prisoners, Five Magics, Poison Was the Cure, Lucretia, Tornado of Souls, Dawn Patrol, Rust in Peace, Polaris. 10 out of 10. Megadeth's Rust in Peace. Magic. Let's go to 1991. Here's a band that I got requests about, not necessarily this record, but a band that somebody asked about. Razer from Ontario, Canada. This is their seventh full-length, Open Hostility, originally on Fringe Product Records. This is just thrash at its fucking finest, There's something about this record, the sound of it and the feel of it. It's full of fucking attitude. The songs are so good, you know. It's got these groovy, thrashy parts in these songs. You know, the way the lyrics are sung. I just in protest, sucker for punishment, really good. Bad vibrations, another really good one. Road Gunner, cheers. Free lunch is another good one. You know, Razors, open hostility. Pick this shit up. Really good. Let's stay at 1991. Sepultura's Arise. If you watch our videos, you know how I feel about Beneath the Remains and Arise. Beneath the Remains was on the first video. Rise is on here. I love this record so much. Now, this was the 2 LP expanded edition, 180 gram. It has unreleased demos and live tracks. It's got the Orgasmatron cover on here, my favorite cover ever, the Motorhead cover, which was originally released as the B-side to Dead Embryonic Cells, I believe. That cover of Orgasmatron is so fucking good. Arise, Dead Embryonic Cells, Desperate Cry, Murder, Subtraction, Altered State. Altered State has always been one of my favorite Sepultura songs. It's so underrated. Doesn't get talked about enough. Under Siege, Meaningless Movements, Infected Voice. So amazing. Sepultura's Arise, 1991, originally on Roadrunner, their fourth full length, and you know, obviously Sepultura from Brazil. Essential. Let's go to 1988's The Mighty Slayer, South of Heaven. We had Raid and Blood on the first video. I got South of Heaven on this one. This was their fourth full length on Def Jam. Love this record to death. One of my all-time favorites. It's got another one of those thrash records with a feel to it, you know. So they go from Rain and Blood to this, and this was completely different. And I feel like that's the way Slayer had to go, you know, like just to still a great fucking record. And every song on here is good. Like I can't say enough good things about this one. I love it, man. South of Heaven, Silent Scream, Live Undead, Behind the Crooked Cross, Mandatory Suicide, Ghosts of War, Read Between the Lines, Cleanse the Soul, Dissident Aggressor, The Priest cover, and Spill the Blood. Every track is good. 10 out of 10 for me. 1988's Slayer's South of Heaven. And you probably already got it, so, but it had to be on one of my lists. So let's go to 1985. I think this is the oldest one on this list. SOD's Speak English or Die. SOD from New York City. This is their first full length on Megaforce. Now, this is a reissue of the 30th anniversary edition, which would make this like the 35th anniversary edition, pretty much. But legendary record. March of the SOD, Sergeant D and the SOD, Kill Yourself, the Milano Mosh, Speak English or Die, United Forces, Chromatic Death, Jesus Christ, Freddy Krueger, Milk. So good. There's a lot of bonus tracks on this one. There's Live in Tokyo. There's tracks from the Crab Society North demo on here on this version. Really killer. SOD, Speak English or Die. Legendary record. Let's go to 1984. This is one that I had to have on here. It's Metallica's Ride the Lightning on Megaforce, their second full length. I looked at the history on this. Like, apparently there was some kind of joint thing between Megaforce and Elektra. Like, the original vinyl, I think, was Megaforce, and then the cassette was Elektra, and then I don't know how it works out, but Metallica's Ride the Lightning, legendary record. We had Injustice for All on the first video, which is my favorite album of all time. I had to put that on there. Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Probably one of my favorite Metallica tracks. I love For Whom the Bell Tolls, man. Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Escape, Creeping Death, Call of Cthulhu. You probably already have it, but I had to include it on here. Metallica's Ride the Lightning. Legendary. Here's one that you probably wouldn't expect. Let's go to 1989. Mortal Sin from Sydney, Australia. Their second full-length, Face of Despair. I had this record since I was a kid. I love it so much. It was actually hard to find. I remember I had the cassette, and then when I was transitioning to CDs, like I looked all over for the CD, and I ended up buying it years later on eBay from somebody from like another country or something like that. This is a reissue that came out not too long ago. Face of Despair. I mean, every song on here is good. I Am Immortal, Voyage of the Disturbed, The Infantry Corps, For Richer, For Poorer, Martyrs of Eternity, Innocent Torture is so good. Great sound on this, great songwriting on this. I always liked this better than the first one. It was called Mayhemic Destruction was their first one. I think the songs are a little bit more polished on here and it just sounds really good. Mortal Sins, Face of Despair, essential for me. So pick that up. Let's go to 1990. The legendary Demolition Hammer from New York City, Tortured Existence. This was their first release on Century Media. I remember just being blown away when I picked this thing up. Like I just 44 caliber brain surgery, Neanderthal, gelid remains residing in crippling velocity, infectious hospital waste, hydrophobia, parasital epitaph, mercenary aggression, cataclysm. Every song on here is good. This is probably just about a 10 out of 10 for me. Love Demolition Hammer. I know they're back together and they're doing shows and they're touring and stuff. I wish they would come out with some new material. Like, I don't know if they're working on new material or not, but I would love to hear some new material from them because I just don't think we have enough. What do we have? 3 full lengths? So Demolition Hammer, Tortured Existence, absolutely essential. Let's go to 1990. Thought he could fly till he hit cement. Impact is imminent. Ha, ha. Right? 4th full length, Capitol Records, The Mighty Exodus, my favorite band in the world from San Francisco, California. We put Bonded by Blood on the first list. Impact is Imminent had to be on the next one. I love this record so much. Every song on here is good. I don't think this record gets the credit it deserves. I wish the band would play more of these songs live. I would love to hear that. Impact is Imminent. AWOL, The Lunatic Parade, Within the Walls of Chaos, Objection Overruled. Only Death Decides, Heads They Win, Tails You Lose, Changing of the Guard, Thrash Under Pressure. We do what we do because we fucking want to. I love this record so much. Exodus, Impact is Imminent. Totally, completely essential to have in your collection. I love the sound, the guitar sound on this one. I just love the whole thing about it, It'll cut you like a fucking razor, the guitar tone on this. So good. Let's go to 1989. Overkill, The Years of Decay, their 4th full length on Megaforce. We put Under the Influence on the first one. I like Under the Influence just a little bit better than this one. But again, this is legend, this record. Time to Kill, Elimination, staple of their set. I Hate, Nothing to Die For, Playing with Spiders, Skull Crusher, Birth of Tension, Who Tends the Fire, The Years of Decay, Evil Never Dies. Essential record. Love the whole sound and feel of this record. It's not one of those records where it has a feeling, just sucks you in, Overkill, Years of Decay, 10 out of 10, man. Here's kind of an obscure one. If you're a Thrash fan, you probably know this. If not, you're going to know it now. And it's Gamicide's Victims of Science. 1989, originally on Wild Rags. It was their first full length. Gamicide is from Arlington, Texas. Just a no bullshit fucking balls out thrash record, heavy as fuck. Like, this is such a great record. So, not a lot of people talk about it, but I think more people should. Endangered species, fossilized, shock treatment, victims of science, gutter rats, walking plague, chemical imbalance, incubus, observations. Every song on here is good. Like, pick this up. You're really going to like it. Gamicide, victims of science. Let's go to 1986. I don't have this on vinyl, but I do have the CD. The legendary Creator from Essen, Germany, Pleasure to Kill. Noise Records, their second full length, heavy as fuck thrash record. I mean, it's so legendary. It's being re-released very soon. I think it's coming out next month, like a repress of it, and I'll pick it up. But the intro, Choir of the Damned, Ripping Corpse, Death of Your Savior, Pleasure to Kill, Riot of Violence. I mean, how good is Riot of Violence? The Pestilence, Carry On, Command of the Blade, Under the Guillotine. And this version has tracks from the Flag of Hate EP too on it. I don't know if you can see that, but they're on here. Creators, Pleasure to Kill, absolutely essential. Pick this thing up. Let's go to 1990. Light issue here. Anthrax's Persistence of Time, their fifth full length. Anthrax from New York City on Island Records. I love Persistence of Time. We put Among the Living on the first video we did. This one had to be on the second. Anthrax went from State of Euphoria to this, and this was a much more serious, darker record. The guitar tone was darker. Like, I just love everything about this record. Just the way it sounds. It has a feel to it. All the songs are good. This happens to be the 4LP 30th anniversary remaster. So it's got a bunch of bonus stuff on it. Really cool. Time, Blood, Keep It in the Family, In My World, Gridlock, Belly of the Beast, Got the Time, the cover. Hatred, One Man Stands, Discharge. Discharge is fucking heavy and fast as fuck. Every song on here is good. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I saw Anthrax on that Clash of the Titans tour back in 1991, and I'll never forget it. Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. Alice in Chains opened up that show. Legendary. Anthrax, Persistence of Time. We had a request for this one on the comments on the last video, and I actually almost included it, so I definitely include it in this one. This is Annihilator's Alice in Hell. Annihilator from Ontario, Canada. Their first full length on Roadrunner. Jeff Waters is such an amazing musician. This album is absolutely essential. Crystal Land, the intro. How great is that intro? Crystal Land, like that acoustic kind of, really fucking amazing. Alice in Hell, WTYD, which is Welcome to Your Death. Wicked Mystic, Burns Like a Buzzsaw Blade, Word Salad. Human Incesticide. Annihilators, Alice in Hell. Totally essential. Pick this shit up. Really good. Along with Never Neverland too, but I like this one a little bit better. For the bonus, I have no modern thrash metal releases. I didn't have, when I say modern, I mean the year 2000 or later. So I wanted to include a modern thrash record on here just to give some of the new school bands some credit. And my favorite new school band is Municipal Waste by a long shot. So I got The Art of Partying on here. So much fun. This was Municipal Waste third full length. Earache. They're from Richmond, Virginia. I could have easily put Hazardous Mutation on here as the record, but I like them both, but I really like this one. I have good memories of this one because I had just moved me and my wife had just bought a house, and we were moving into the house, and we were tearing up the floors and doing all kinds of work in the house. And I had this blasting while we were doing it, and I just have good memories of this record. And there's so many good tracks on here. The Art of Partying, Headbanger, Face Rip, Metal Shock, Attention Deficit, Destroyer, The Inebriator, Lunch Hall Food Brawl, Beer Pressure, Somehow We're Chemically Altered, Sadistic Magician, another really good one. Fuck. Born to Party, that's another really fun one. So Municipal Waste, The Art of Partying, great record, great sound. Like, they got such a fat fucking guitar sound. Ryan Waste, his guitar tone is off the hook. I love it so much. Municipal Waste, The Art of Partying, pick this shit up, but you probably got it already. So that was my bonus one. So there's another 15 and a bonus for you. 15 perfect or damn near perfect thrash metal records to start your collection with. This is a labor of love putting these lists together for me, because this shit, for the most part, is a shit I grew up listening to when I first got into metal, and brings back great memories for me. And I love talking about this stuff. So again, throw some comments down. Let me know what you'd include. Let me know if you disagree or agree with the records I have on the second list. We love engaging with you guys. So, we'll respond to every comment, so leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks for hanging with me on the Realms of Metal. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate everybody, checking out the videos, and, it's, we're talking about what we love, right? This is what we love. So, it's fun to embrace it and go back and forth about these records and bands and stuff. So that said, have a good rest of the day. Take care, and we'll see you very soon.